Well, it was a week of transportation chaos across the United States. A technology glitch grounded the country's air travel yesterday morning. By 10 a.m., nearly 5,000 flights were delayed and an additional 900 were canceled. What's more, passengers traveling from Virginia to Florida were stuck on an Amtrak train for 36 hours. Can you imagine that? After the freight train derailed, it was heading to South Carolina. And joining us now with reaction is Joel Griffith, research fellow at the Economic Policy Studies at the Heritage Foundation. Joel, always a pleasure to talk with you. What's your reaction to this grand-scale transportation chaos plaguing our country this week? What are you hearing?
Well, what a nightmare we saw unfold as the Federal Aviation Administration's equipment basically failed. And that ended up with so many people stranded and flights delayed and hundreds of flights canceled. What's really fascinating is if you dig into the FAA budget is you find a lot of misplaced priorities. And this is an agency, they spend over $21 billion per year. That's about $1,200 for each and every flight that takes off or lands in this country. It is a lot of money. But if you look at what their focus has been shifting towards over the past few years, it's quite shocking. You see a focus on environmental justice, climate change mitigation, prioritizing sustainable design and construction, even a focus on environmentally friendly asphalt for the runways.
Yeah,
Sadly, the FAA has taken a detour away from its mission, a mission that is supposed to be ensuring that we have the safest and most efficient aviation in the world. And they've taken a detour towards wokeism. And I fear that in the future, this is going to impact both the safety and the efficiency of air travel in this country.
Most definitely. Let's talk about this latest budget. As you mentioned, some $15 billion now goes to measures like climate change, migration, environmental justice, and even racial equality and inclusion. This whole wokeness, tell us more about your take on this. And it's all coming at a cost.
Is coming at a big cost. Last year, the FAA had more than $21 billion to work with. And FAA employees, they do a vital service to this country, and they're very well compensated. The average person that works at the FAA makes $126,000 per year, and there's some that make far more. So they are well compensated. And if you look at the total budget for the FAA, though, only about roughly about one-third goes to salaries. They have a lot of money they work with that should be going to technology upgrades. They have plenty of funds for this. And if you look at the dilapidation that's been occurring over the years of some of these facilities, the most recently constructed facility is more than 55 years old. And you have some facilities that are closer to 80 years old. There should be a focus of using these federal tax dollars to focus on technology upgrades and efficiency rather than pursuing this woke agenda. And look, this woke agenda is out there in the open. If you look at the appropriations request for the FAA, those buzzwords are in there. Environmental justice, climate change mitigation, money going towards exploring more sustainable fuels. This is so far off from what their mission is supposed to be. And it might take Congress, actually, this new Congress, stepping in and reiterating that the FAA needs to be dedicated to efficient, safe air travel, and they need to abandon this reckless, wasteful social justice agenda.
Exactly. I know a lot of Republicans on the House side are definitely looking into this issue, at least, and hopefully Republicans on the Senate side as well will eventually look. Joel Griffith, great insight as always. Thank you again for joining us.
Thanks for having me tonight.